So let me show you what I have done for today. I had a not bad trading day in the end. All these numbers that you cannot see behind me, all these numbers over here are what I traded today, only up 352. I was up about 800 or 900, and then I kind of blew it at the end, but at least with a rough ending of the day, I still ended up. I'm going to be done trading for the day. I think things are going to be rather sideways. So what I want to do today in the show is show you what I did right, show you where I messed up, and then at the end, I want to tell you where I think Bitcoin is going over the next perhaps 24 hours, but particularly up until traditional markets open around 9:30 a.m. New York time tomorrow on Wednesday. So I'm specifically going to tell you the short-term time frame, what I think, and then after that, I'm going to tell you where I think it could happen to go after markets open, because I think tomorrow might be a volatile day. It was a real cliffhanger in the traditional markets, and it's going to affect Bitcoin. So things are going to get heated tomorrow morning, starting around 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Let's dive into these charts. All right, let's start off with so this is 621, everything this one and above. So this one starts yesterday's trading, and this one right here starts today's trading. That's what all these numbers here are. I mean, heck, I can't complain. I really messed it up at the end. I didn't do anything stupid or catastrophic, but I'm green for the day, whatever. So I'm going to show you really quickly what I did right, because people want to learn how to make, how people are making money in the bear market, since you can't really do it with altcoins right now, unless, you can't really do it with altcoins on spot. So what I've done right is I have everything I did that was green was a short. And once again, it's not necessarily confusing me, but for whatever reason, it's easier for me in this trend up to identify lower highs. And that's it. I have my ribbons on. That might be a little distracting. Yeah, just identifying lower highs and shorting. A lower high and short. That's it. I mean, that's all I'm doing. And then the one time I took a very probable trade here. So I'm going to show. So basically, I shorted here and I took profit, and I shorted there and I took profit. That's all I did. Literally all that money. So $900, right? It was $900 up from there to there and there to there, and that's it. That's $900. And then so here I took a long. I thought I was a genius trying to add to my position a tiny bit at that wick low. So I set my stops a little wide. I actually moved them down just a tiny bit to grab some more, because I thought, it's just a wick. And that's where I messed up, because it just stopped me right out in a slightly bigger position. Of course, the things that I added here, they did not move much distance down, so the bigger positions didn't move very far for me to wick out. But I still added to a losing position, which wasn't wise. However, I really thought perhaps it was attracted towards that wick low, and it was going to pop up. And here, this move here all happened within a 3-minute candle. You see that? So I thought it was more of a fake out, because at that exact moment was around the end of the day for IXIC closing. So I thought, you know what? This is a move down that's going to be a fake out, and I made an exception to a very simple rule. So watch. It's like every time I try to make an exception and I have a good reason to break a rule, I lose money. So remember that. And I remember it, but I still do it sometimes. That's the way it is in trading. And you have to let it hurt. You have to let it burn, and you really need to reflect on what you did wrong, right? So that's what I'm doing for you. I'm showing you what I did wrong. So hopefully myself, I won't do it again, finding exceptions to rules I know work and keep me safe, right? But hopefully you don't do it either. And again, I'm not going to tell you necessarily what signals I got. So for YouTube content, Discord content, the reason for these signals, that's going to stay Discord stuff. But just overall where I made money. I made money from here to here and there to there. That's it. And Cardano's been on fire. What was my biggest trade of the day? It was on Cardano short. Yeah, I'm really liking Chart and Cardano because Ethereum and Bitcoin get more like, like stop hunts to the upside more than ADA. And ADA, once it makes its height, it really, that's it. And it usually lags Bitcoin. It's just a lot easier. So that's a hint for everybody else. However, you can get really messed up with Cardano. So if you're new to futures, don't think you're a genius just trying to short Cardano, because it can really mess you up fast. It's moderately volatile. It's more volatile than Ethereum and Bitcoin for sure. All right, but not nearly as much as like Near Protocol or like some other things traded on futures. It's not even close. So I like it. It's got a good blend of predictability and volatility. All right, so yeah, I tried to long for the first time in 3 days in an uptrend. Look at this. I mean, what the hell? And it was a good trade too. I mean, that's where it bounced, and I was in profit. And shame on me. I could have. So another mistake I made is, well, actually, it did cross the point. It closed the candle above that high. I should have moved up my damn stop and allowed myself simply to re-enter. So I think I was busy at the time. I was on a phone call, so that's probably why I wasn't able to do that. But the basic rule is, when you can really move up your stops into profit without getting a stop button to the downside, is you see a low, you have some form of higher low, and then you break a local high and close the candle. Usually that next higher low after breaking a previous local high here with a closure. So that one did, I think. Yes. This candle right here barely closed above that local high. So you should have been safe to move up your stops and wait for a higher low, and then for it to break this high again to move it up even more. So I should have had my stop barely in profit at that point. So that's another rule that I broke, but that is something that I and on Discord as well, I try to let folks know, hey, once this move is now starting, I give suggestions on, okay, move stops at least into profit, or, hide them just outside of profit, things to that effect. And if you're interested in that, links to the Discord community are in the description sections of all my videos. I'm not for sure about my live videos. And you make sure you're following me on Twitter. I post some pretty bomb charts on there as well for you to ponder about. And then if online community is not your thing, I give about 15 to 20 updates on Bitcoin, Nasdaq, and traditional finance and Ethereum for my Cryptillion YouTube tier, and also I provide recordings of the Discord Cryptillion conversations and live chats for the YouTube tiers, recording of it, but they don't join live. All right, so Bitcoin. So that's what I did right, and that's what I did wrong. Now what I want to discuss is, so two things. Where is Bitcoin going between now and traditional markets opening, which is very distinct, I can speak English, with what's going to happen at market open. That I actually don't know, but I think I know that it's going to get volatile before noon. So I think I have a good understanding of what's going to happen between now and then, which is a bunch of nothing. is kind of what I'm thinking. So let's yeah, I really am seeing a bunch of nothing. All right. In general, what I think will happen essentially for America, you're better out, get outside. Just go outside. Like, don't try to trade this. Go outside the rest of the day. Like, hell, even get off this video and leave. No. But anyway, seriously though, don't try to trade this all night. I don't think anything profitable is going to happen. You're most likely going to be stuck in positions and see it go down your way and then come right back up to your stop and you pay fees. And then, I got another good entry, and then it goes your direction. Then it comes right back up to your stop and you pay fees. Like, this is going to be a beautiful night to pay fees to KuCoin or wherever you're trading. So you might get outside. That's what I think is essentially going to happen. But to see it visually here, I'm going to zoom out to the 4-hour chart. And all right, so the reason I have this this green box is not part of the channel. So this channel right here, the top, bottom, point of control in the middle, quarter line, or whatever the, split lines or whatever. I guess there are, I guess they're 1/5 line, 2/5, I don't know. Anyway, so you have these lines here where it's all pinging off of. But this box here is where is the most bullish I can see it going I think this week. It could rival it and get above it and come back to use it as support, but overall in the week, so if you look at the structure over here, this is the first, so it's the first major wick down during this fall, right? But you also have a wick up in these candles here. So usually price after it makes a local low, it likes to race up to that, pull back, and then decide if it's going to continue or break down, which that is an inverse head and shoulders. It's very common because all inverse head and shoulders means it's the first higher low after a downtrend of that time frame. That's all it means. And because Bitcoin goes do, it forms like a W, and people call it inverse head and shoulders. But it's just it means the first higher low has happened, and you're rivaling a breakout of the local high. That's all it means. That's literally all it means, right? And that's what's getting ready to happen here. Probably, it's going to be a big inverse head and shoulders. But I don't like to say that because I don't know. I feel it loses its meaning. You're potentially, this looks like a lower high. Now we're rivaling, essentially getting above this local high right here, and it could be a big breakout. So I see it most bullish coming up here, going back to the point of control over this week, and then deciding I don't know. I don't have an opinion on where to go after that, but that is one likely price path. It'll take it up to 22,800 is this line up here. But that's the most bullish I see it going. I really don't see it coming up here and then using that as support. I think it'll get blocked, come down, and then decide after that. That'll be potentially around Friday. Anyway, I think price could also get rejected from that point and that point as well. That's 22.2, so just a bunch of twos, and then 21.8 is a potential 21.8, a bunch of twos, and then this point here, 22.8 are I think, the most likely points for things to start breaking down, or currently, maybe if it's potential. So if we zoom way in here, it's potential that counts as a rejection from it. I personally don't think it is. So for me on the 5-minute chart, that's not close enough for me. I still think it wants to come up and test this sometime this week, or this one, or the box. You see that? So now that I'm way zoomed in, it's not very far away. It's not very far away. So I mean, look, this is the 5-minute chart. I simply think that point, or this point here, especially because this horizontal box meets up with that channel line, right? So that's around 22.8. That's as high as I see it going until from now till Friday, right? Okay, but in the immediate sense, I see price essentially oscillating on this channel line. Maybe trying to flirt with that again and going down here and then flirting with that line but not touching and going up here, something like that. And then when market opens tomorrow, a different story would happen. And I think, essentially this is what I think is something to this effect, or some type of, if I can draw it like this, some type of oscillation around this line, and to even break it out even further, I don't think overnight that this line will be touched or this line will be touched, and that price will ride between it somehow. Could get close to each, could get close to just one, but I don't think this will be touched or this will be touched until around, at the earliest, 8 a.m. New York on Wednesday morning, or 12 o'clock London, or 1 p.m. Berlin. That's what I think is getting ready to happen. Now, what happens after that? So let me show you this is a real cliffhanger here. Look how, this is the point of control on Nasdaq in its current channel, right? So with a couple horizontals, you have the point of control here, top of the channel, bottom of the channel, all the, in the separation lines. And then you have some key horizontals here running through. So this is the point of control. It could go, so this is one of those interesting cases where I'm not going to say it could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. Rather, what I'm going to say is it could go up or it could go down. I don't see this going sideways much longer tomorrow. This was essentially NASDAQ composite, its closure. And I bet that NASDAQ futures, which trades 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, I don't think it's going to do anything, because that was a cliffhanger. Like, it could go up or it could go down. It really could. It's not decisive, and you go to SPX, same deal. Slightly different structure, because it has, so SPX is a little stronger structurally than NASDAQ. So it essentially got a weak bounce off the point of control and is coming up and using this big horizontal from a while ago, maybe from 2020 or 2021. But this is a horizontal over about a year old or more, perhaps a year. And hell, I should just go back and look, but zoom out a little bit. But anyway, it's so if we zoom into this part here, it's mostly using stuff as support. Honestly, it looks like it wants to go up at least for the beginning of the day tomorrow. At least, which could be a scam pump. But regardless, I just don't think it's going to go sideways around market open. I think you could have a fake out to the downside and then you zoom up aggressively, or the day starts strong, maybe futures, and hell, the futures could start tanking around. So this is not futures, this is actually SPX, but the futures of this is open 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. But the futures, before this opens, could really tank down, then come back up when this is getting ready to open, and then this goes up first and then comes comes down like by noon or something. I think something volatile could happen and direction could go both ways, as opposed to volatility just one way and then the same way and then the same way. Does that make sense? I can't really read the market. If I had to make a specific guess, it looks like I can't tell. I think it's equal. I mean, hell, it could even be a lower high and then it just really starts tanking. It's nothing. So the volatility might not actually increase until it starts going down one direction. It's just, I can't tell what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some specific lines on where you can start telling. So hopefully that's going to be valuable for you. I can't quite tell what it's going to, so I can tell roughly what's going to happen. I think I can with confidence from now till market open. But once market opens, I'm not getting a good read on it. But here's what you can specifically look out for. It's really simple. So on IXIC, when market opens, okay, you probably don't have the same trading channel, but I'm on the 5-minute chart. When the market opens, you can simply, draw lines like this. Like this. Something to that effect. Whichever line it breaks first, that's the direction it's probably going. That's it. Same with, and so when market opens, and that's going to be 9:30 a.m. It's that simple. That's going to give you the best indicator. And the futures, what they're doing before market open, it could be the exact opposite. So it's not a trustworthy indicator to look at the open markets of the futures and pre-market open stuff. So in here, I would say as long as you're above the bottom of actually, as long as this is above here, it's still pretty safe, which means it stays in this blue box. Okay, and if it gets above the blue box, so whichever one happens first, below the blue box, things are probably going down. Above the blue box, things are going up. Both might be. So this chart is SPX specifically. That's the ticker. It won't open until 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. That's a very good way to try to determine what's going to happen. Or you could use this chart as well. So you can use what's called, can you see up here where it's called rotated rectangle. All right, you can just just go like this, and whichever way it breaks out first and you'll see that SPX, if this gets a breakout of this area, SPX will likely be doing the same thing. It'll likely be right here, breaking into the green zone. It'll move together. And if the other one, and if this SPX goes above the blue box and above this local high, you'll probably see IXIC going above. This is tilted, but it'll be going above the this box. And so the direction's up. Could that be a fake out? Yeah, but you'll be able to, tell that that's coming, with a lower high potentially, or if volatility really starts, you see a hot move come and then you realize, oh shoot, if I took on longs, I'm in profit. I might want to get out. If you start seeing it, just come up and then really start tanking, you just have to be ready for that kind of stuff, because it could go both ways tomorrow. I just don't think it's going to go sideways, but this is how I would determine your probabilities. And I would just go with I would go on Bitcoin with the direction that it picks, whether it breaks up or down. I would be short in this case and long in this case. And if it's a fake out, well, that's what stops are for, and that's what moving up your stops are after a move gets you in profit. That's all you can do. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to guess and start, longing to this point and start taking on shorts at this precise moment. Now, just that's what stops are for. And if you can get your stops in profit, let that happen. And then you get stopped out, set back and wait for your next entry. Don't just try to hop in and chase it. That's it. And that covers what I think is going to happen between now and market open. All right, what will happen at market open, and I told you how the highest I can see things going this week for Bitcoin before Friday, which is going to be close to 22.8. 22.8 is the highest I can see Bitcoin going this week, Monday through Friday. Could it float up over the weekend? Maybe, but between now and Friday, 22.800 is the highest that I can see. And